Hey guys, welcome back to Sparkman Homestead. We are going to do a canning project today. So last week I made a recipe. I did actually film the recipe. I'm going to try to get that video edited and out for you guys. I really want to show you. It's one of our favorite, well, one of my favorite, and now I think it might be one of Steven's favorite recipes. Anyways, I was making that recipe. And when I was making the recipe, I noticed that I was very low on something in my pantry. Something that I don't use a lot, but it's definitely something that I like to have in my pantry because when I need it, I don't want to have to buy it from the store. Sometimes when you buy this product from the store, it has a whole bunch of unnecessary ingredients that do not need to be in there. So I love to do this project, canning it myself. And this is a really good winter canning activity because it doesn't really require anything to be in season. See if I can actually find it. I only have one jar left. So today we are going to can some teriyaki sauce. I've done a video in the past, but I think it was a couple of years ago. So I want to get a new one out there just to show you guys that you can make this from scratch and it is so easy to do it and it doesn't have any crazy ingredients in it. The one thing I think I actually have to get done first though, because I'm going to be doubling this recipe, and I have showed you guys this a lot in the past, is I need to get some brown sugar made because we need 4 cups of brown sugar for this recipe. And I probably only have about 2 cups in here. So that amount of brown sugar, 2 cups, will be perfectly fine to just make the recipe as it's written. But I want to double this recipe because when I make teriyaki sauce, I like to do it about once every 2 years. It is super easy to make, but I like to do a big batch of it when I do can it, and it does last on the canning shelf for about 2 years. I'm carrying a bucket of sugar here. It's a little heavy. So yes, it is shelf stable and it does last for 2 years. We usually go through it within that 2 years. Let's see what I have a little bit in here because I used it for that recipe that I made the other day. Last time I did this was 2024. So doubling the recipe actually only lasts us about a year. Do I triple it? No, I think I'll just double it today and that should be fine. But we do have to make the brown sugar. Actually, one thing I need to do is get this stuff put away on my pantry shelf. I have to go into the garage and grab something. Yesterday, I unintentionally did a little bit of a freezer clean out. I was looking for something and I couldn't find it and ended up rifling through my freezer. And I found a couple of canning projects that I had just kind of stashed in the freezer to do later on when I had time. So yesterday I made some cherry pit scrap jelly. So I have to get that put onto my pantry shelf, but I'm in here because I need some soy sauce. Actually, I don't use soy sauce for this recipe. I use this stuff, liquid aminos. You could actually use coconut aminos too. I think that particular batch of teriyaki sauce, I used coconut aminos to make that, but normally this is what I use. Steven's not a super fan of the coconut aminos, and to be quite honest, either am I. I don't know, I just don't love the taste of it. So we're going to use that stuff. Yesterday I got some tallow rendering. So it's just did its first render. So I actually need to get this back onto the stovetop because this was only its first rendering. I usually do this about 3 times to get all of the impurities out of it. So I'll just leave this in here until we're done with the teriyaki. I didn't film yesterday when I was doing my first rendering of my tallow because, to be honest, there's so many really good videos out there showing you how. I've really only been making my own tallow lotion for about 4 years, so I'm not an expert on it. I will leave the video that I reference below for you guys. There are some really good channels out there like Sparkman Homestead, I think that's how you pronounce it. I know that they did a quick video on it. Ruth Ann Zimmerman is another one that did a video on it. The one I'm going to link below is Bumblebee, I forgot her name. Anyways, I'll just leave it linked below. That one, I find she is so clear in it. It's just a very straightforward video on how to do it, and it has helped me produce amazing tallow. I use that tallow to make lotion. I use it on my face, my skin. Love it, love it. I really want to get this teriyaki project done. So I dedicated today to do that project. I need to get these jars cleaned and put onto my pantry shelf. So this I just used cherry pits to make. I didn't film it. I didn't film it because yesterday I honestly was just cleaning the freezer and just wanted to hurry through a whole bunch of projects. Usually when I end up filming the project, it usually takes me a couple extra hours to do the project than where if I could just put an audiobook on and just whip right through it, I can get it done usually within like 20 minutes, which is how much these took to make. One jar I did not have enough to can because you need to have a 1/4 inch headspace. And this was just cherry pits that I had saved when I canned all my cherries. Just put them in the freezer because I knew I couldn't get to it right away. I just used honey with this and Pomona's pectin, and it turned out amazing. Actually didn't try it yet. Let's see. Ooh, that's super good. I used lime juice in it also, and then I put a little bit of almond extract in it. Super delicious. Yummy. Really try not to waste a lot of stuff. So I'm just going to check the jars. Make sure they're sealed. Not getting any popping sounds. Yep, all good. So I'm going to get them cleaned. Rag and some soapy water. Nice warm water. Just dry them off. What was, I can't remember what yesterday's date was. There we go. I'm just gonna set these on this table for now because I don't really have a lot of pantry space available. So I'm probably going to have to do some rearranging to make room for these. I don't know where they're gonna go. This is the time of year where I kind of have to play a little game of Tetris with my pantry because I'm at my max capacity. Like, this is the time of year where I have the most things in my pantry. I still have to do that potato and carrot canning project as well, so definitely have to play Jenga in there. Oh, I'm just gonna get my brown sugar made. I have showed you guys how to make this a lot. I need to get different paddles put in here. This is just my dough hook and I don't use this to make sugar. Use my whisk attachment. I'm missing the piece. I am saving up to get the stainless steel bowl for my mixer. This is a plastic one. I'm not a super fan of it being plastic, but it is quite spendy to get the stainless steel bowl, so I'm saving up for it. It is Christmas, and if Steven's watching this video, that's an amazing Christmas gift idea. Just saying. Put this lid on really tight when I added the sugar last time. So I usually put about, what is this, 2, 4, 6, 8, usually about 8 cups of sugar. Actually, yeah, 8 cups because we're going to use all of that sugar and I still need more. So actually we might do 10 cups. I like to make big batches of my brown sugar at one time. This is my brown sugar container and I keep these little bears in here and it helps keep the brown sugar fresh. These bears honestly make this brown sugar last for a very, very long time. I don't use a lot of it, but we are in the baking season and I am using a little bit more than normal right now. Okay, so I'm gonna get my molasses out and let me see what kind of molasses I'm using. I don't know if it's blackstrap molasses. I can't remember. Let me get the jar. It's hiding in here somewhere. Where are you? It's apple cider vinegar. Oh, there it is. Old-fashioned molasses. I need to fill my molasses jar up a little bit because I'm going to be making some gingerbread soon. I'm not going to be making the traditional gingerbread cookies. I'm going to do something a little bit different. I want to tell you right now, but I don't want to because I want to film it. And I want you guys to be surprised. It's going to be a fun Christmas activity that I'm going to do. For 10 cups of sugar, I'm probably going to add about a 1/4 cup of molasses in here. I don't measure it. I really just eyeball it. If the molasses turns out to be a little bit too light of a brown sugar, then I'll just add a little bit more. So I just eyeball it. Just turn it on and mix it up. That is definitely not going to be brown enough, so I'm going to add a little bit more to this. And I'm just scraping down the sides because sometimes that molasses likes to stick to the sides of the bowl. Oh, that might be too much. We'll see. We'll see. Nope, that's perfect. Just scrape down the sides. For a dark brown sugar, you're gonna wanna add a lot more molasses than that. And you get a nice dark brown sugar. But I like to use light brown sugar for my recipes. Actually, I might need to make some dark stuff for my gingerbread cookies. And you just wanna mix this until it gets all combined and you don't see any chunks of molasses in it anymore. All right, that's good. Turn that off. Look at, and set it aside. I'm gonna use the stuff that we have in this jar first, and then once we get done this, then I will put the fresh stuff in here. I just don't wanna put fresh on top of older stuff. You wanna use this up first. It's one way that I always keep my pantry in good rotation. I just need to double check and see everything we need because I'm feeling I'm doing a lot of extra trips back and forth. So I need to go back there and get some more vinegar. We have lemon juice. Oh, we also need to put the sugar back also. So we'll get the vinegar when we put the sugar back. I'm going to use lemon juice in this, but you can use lime juice if you don't have lemon. And then fresh ginger, freshly grated. So let's get our ginger out of the freezer. Thing of ginger, I store my ginger in the freezer because it makes it last for a very, 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 very long time. The very last ingredient in this recipe, depending on what you're using, considered to be not canning safe. So you can use arrowroot cornstarch in this recipe as a thickener. Oh my gosh, there's a huge spider on the table. I look over and he was crawling across the table. I don't want to kill him because I love having spiders in my house because they eat all of the little gnats and stuff like that, but that's a jumping spider and I'm not a super fan of the jumping spiders because you go to get them and they jump on you. Hence the word jumping spider. Easily distracted. So what I'm going to use in this recipe, instead of doing a cornstarch or a arrowroot, which you can do if you're comfortable doing it, I have used arrowroot in the past to make this recipe, but because I'm canning it on YouTube, I want to kind of do what's considered to be canning safe. If you are comfortable using arrowroot or cornstarch in your canning, then definitely you could use that. What I'm going to actually use that is considered to be canning safe is clear gel. The stuff I have is actually Thermoflow, which is the exact same thing as a clear gel. I purchased it at my local Amish market. They didn't have clear gel, they just had Thermoflow. It does the exact same thing that cornstarch or arrowroot would do. It acts as a thickener. The reason why they say it's not safe to can with arrowroot or cornstarch is because it makes the product too thick, and apparently when canning, the heat can't get into the center of the product because it's the thickening agent that you're using, so therefore it's deemed to be not canning safe. I do not know how much testing has actually been with that. That is just the research that I have done. So I'm getting away from using the arrowroot and going more to a clear gel or a thermal gel because that has been a tested thing and they say that that is safe to use. So that's what we're going to use. The last batch that I did last year, I also used the Thermoflow in it and it worked perfectly fine to thicken it. I'm just going to let you guys know the research that I've done and what the research has said. But you have to do your own research. Just because somebody tells you on the internet, make sure that you're doing stuff that you feel safe in your home doing. Don't just do it because somebody else says to do it. My public service announcement of the day. Do your own research. I say it in every video. I think that's just a disclaimer that we all have to say. Menopausal moment. We went in the back to grab vinegar and we put the sugar away, and then I got on my research rant and forgot to get the vinegar. Let me go grab it. Okay. Oh, it's vinegar. I think we got it all now. My coffee is completely cold. Third time heating my coffee up. Let's hope third time's a charm and I can actually drink it this time. So I'm gonna get out a medium size heavy bottom stock pot. You wanna make sure you're using a heavy bottom pot so that you don't burn anything. I have my water bath canner out and I have water in it and I have some half pints put in it. I'm gonna turn that on to get those jars hot. When I make my teriyaki sauce, I can it in half pint jars, and the reason I do that is because that's usually what we need when making a recipe. I actually usually don't even use the full half pint. If you have a bigger family and you know you're going to use a lot more than a half pint in a recipe, then definitely you could do this in pint-sized jars. But the recipe that I'm going to give you is for half pints. So the timing and everything is going to be to can half pints. The tea that I usually drink has some seasonal stuff, and this is the one that I'm drinking right now. It's so delicious. It's caffeine free. It's not actually coffee, but you brew it the same way that you would brew a coffee. I use this thing to brew it, so I just put a filter in here, put the grounds in, pour hot water over top of it, and it tastes exactly like a coffee would, but it doesn't have the stuff that my body doesn't like. They have this gingerbread one. They also have a candy cane one. I think the candy cane one is actually my favorite. I absolutely love peppermint chocolate flavoring. It is probably one of my most favorite flavors. That's another reason why I love Christmas, is because peppermint is everywhere and I love it. Just a work email quickly. I'm trying to work while do this at the same time. Alrighty, we're actually gonna get to do it now. I do have a linkable recipe for this, so I will leave it linked below in the video description for you guys, so you can have all the ingredients and the steps in there. And remember, I am doubling this recipe. So we're gonna start with our liquid aminos. The original recipe says to use a soy sauce. Like I said earlier, you can use coconut aminos as well in this. So we're gonna put in 4 cups. This is just a 2-cup measuring cup, so I'm just gonna double it. And then we need 4 cups of brown sugar, and the recipe does say a light brown sugar. And I'm semi-packing it, so just making sure that it's full and just kind of patting it down a little bit. So there's 1 cup. I have never tried to do this recipe using like a stevia or a honey in it. I don't know how it would taste using the different sweeteners. I know that you can buy like a stevia brown sugar. That might work okay in this, but I've never tried it, so I don't have any advice on that. Glad we made more brown sugar because we had just enough in this one for 2 cups. Trying to get all of the older stuff out so that when I put the fresh stuff in, it's not got stale stuff on the bottom. That's 2, 3, 4. Fill our brown sugar container back up again. This is almost too big to do this. It's a little easier. Put the sugar bear in here. There we go. All ready for gingerbread. And then we need 1 cup of white vinegar. So we're going to use 2 cups. Feeling like maybe I potentially actually tripled this recipe last time I made it. I don't know. I think I did. I'm looking at this amount and it is not a lot of sauce in here. That's fine. We'll just double it for now. The recipe calls for 4 tablespoons of fresh ginger. So it says you can chop it or you can grate it. In this recipe, I have actually found that you can add almost too much ginger in it, so we're just going to grate it over the bowl. That way I can see, because if I grate it in here, it's going to sink to the bottom and I'm not going to visually see how much we're putting in there. So we're going to do it in a bowl and then add it. I know I'm dirtying another bowl, but I don't want to add too much ginger. I've done that in the past and that sauce was not the best stuff. See how easy it is to grate when you have the ginger frozen? And I'm not too worried about peeling the ginger either. I know that's some people might not like that. Peelings get grated in and it's fine. Let's see if this is enough. This is how much we have in here. We need 8 tablespoons because we're doubling. Well, that was 5. So we need to do 3 more. And then 2 tablespoons of the lemon juice. So we'll put in 4. So we're going to bring this up to a boil over a medium-high heat. Once it gets to a boil, then we're going to turn it down and we're going to simmer this for about 20 minutes. And then once that's done, then we add the thickening agent. Got some bigger chunks of ginger in here. We're at a boil. I'm just going to stir it down a little bit and then I'm going to turn it down to a low heat. And then we're just going to let it simmer for 20 minutes. You do want to keep stirring it in between that 20 minutes because this does have a lot of sugar in it. You don't want any of it to burn on the bottom of the pot, which it shouldn't really because we have a pretty thick bottom and we're only simmering it. We're not really boiling it very hard, but just to be on the safe side, stir it often. 20 minutes is up now, so we're going to move to the next step, which is putting the thickening agent in it. The recipe says to pull 2 tablespoons of this mixture and put it into a bowl. What we're going to do is mix our thickening agent in a separate bowl and then slowly add it to this one. You don't want to just put your thickening agent in it because it will most likely clump. So I'm going to pull out about a 1/4 cup of this stuff, maybe a little bit more than a 1/4 cup. Maybe about 1/2 cup. We're using the Thermoflow. You could use clear gel, and if you are comfortable doing so, you can use arrowroot or cornstarch. So we're gonna add in 4 tablespoons. It calls for 2. Memory serves me correct. This was not enough and I had to add more because it didn't thicken up quite enough. But we'll start with what it calls for first. I need a spatula also. Want it to be clump free. So it says turn the heat back up, says to about a medium, and then we are going to whisk this in. Sure it's all combined. And then we're gonna take it off the heat and we'll get our jars out because it's time to jar this up. We're gonna add this to our jars and we are going to leave a 1/4 inch headspace. Again, you can do this in pint-sized jars if you want. I just like having them in 1/2 pints. It suits our needs. Didn't have my microphone on. I can't remember when I took it off. So we got our tops of our jars clean. You want to clean them really good because they are super sticky. We got our lids on and then we got our rings on to fingertip tight. And now we're going to put them into a water bath canner. I'm going to turn this water back up. I just had the water sitting at a low while I was filling the jars. So we got 9 jars, which is really good. We'll have to do another batch next year because this will not last us the full year. I love to use teriyaki sauce as marinade, and one of these pints will do approximately 1 pound of beef, like especially if I'm making like a beef jerky. So I'll have to do another batch next year, but that's fine. This is a super good winter activity because it doesn't really require anything to be in season. The only fresh element that you're using in this recipe would be the ginger. And usually that's actually on sale around this time of year. So good winter activity to can. So we're gonna get that water bath canner coming up to a full rolling boil, and I'm just double checking to see how long we need to water bath it. We need to water bath can this for 15 minutes. So again, once that gets to the full rolling boil, we will start the timer for the 15 minutes. So then after the 15 minutes, we'll take it off the heat, take the lid off, let those jars rest in there for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll take them off, set them on a towel, and let them cool for 12 to 24 hours. After that, you'll do what I was showing you at the beginning of the video. We'll just clean the jars and then get them on our pantry shelf and find a spot for them. That's gonna be the trickiest thing, is finding a spot. So while I was waiting for that stuff to boil for that 20 minutes, I got my tallow out of the fridge and I got it strained and broken up. So it's all sitting in this pot. I'm gonna do another rendering of it because it's still not like a beautiful, beautiful white color. You can still see some impurities in there. So I'm probably gonna render this a couple more times. Again, I'm not technically showing you guys how to do this in this video. Maybe once I feel a little bit more comfortable in the future, I will show you guys a video on how to make my tallow lotion. But right now, I'm not super comfortable in the process. I am still learning myself, even though I've been doing it for 4 years. I don't do it a lot, so that's why I haven't really learned very quickly. I'm just gonna add some salt. I'm just using a pink Himalayan salt to this, and I'm adding quite a bit. There is a lot of impurities in this tallow that I'm using. This was not like a clean leaf lard tallow. This was pretty much just like the trimmings. So I'm gonna add some water and some salt to this. Get this boiling and melting. And you do it on a really low heat. It takes about 4 days to do this whole process. I'll leave the lid off. We are at a full rolling boil now. Well, it was just at a boil and then I lifted the lid up. So we'll give that another 2 minutes to kind of come back to that rolling boil, and then we will set our timer for the 15 minutes. 15 minutes is up. Take the lid off, turn the heat off, put it over here, and then set the timer for 5 more minutes. After that 5 minutes, we will put them onto this tea towel that we have just sitting on the counter. Get these out of here now. They look like. I'm excited. Love getting stuff on my pantry shelf that I do not have to buy from the grocery store. This is such a good recipe too. I find that the stuff from the grocery store tends to be a little bit salty, and this stuff is really, really good. Maybe it's because I'm using the liquid aminos and not the soy sauce. I don't know, it's just not overly salty. Here we go. So we will let these guys sit here for 12 to 24 hours, and then after that, take the rings off, clean them, and then get them put on the pantry shelf. I found a spot for my jam in here, but looking for a spot, I realized that my peach salsa was in 2 different spots. I thought that my pantry was good and organized because when we did the pantry tour, everything looked like it was organized, but then I found peach salsa in 2 different spots. I'll definitely have to go through it again and double check because we're gonna need some more spots because we got potatoes going on the pantry shelf, carrots, and now we have 9 jars of that teriyaki sauce. So that might be in my near future. It's a big, big job. I remember one year I did it and this whole floor was covered with jars. My whole kitchen floor was covered with jars. It was crazy. But doing a pantry clean out like that is sometimes good because you can double check the jars and make sure that they're sealed. So sometimes it's good to do that every couple of years. So that's going to be it for today's video. Wanted to show you guys such an easy recipe to do, and like I said earlier, it is so nice not having to buy that from the grocery store. It's such an easy thing to do, and I love having that stockpile on my pantry shelf because we do go through it quite a bit. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a good day or night whenever you're watching this, and I will see you on the next video. Bye guys.